what is the importance of reproduction? Continuation of life, you can understand this point very clearly. Replacement of dead individuals. Dead individuals, after completing their lifespan, they will die. Okay, individuals after completing their life cycle, they will die, and then the offsprings, they will come, they will reproduce again, this chain will go on. So replacement of the dead individuals, right? Perpetuation of species means continuity of species. One species will give rise to another of the same species, right? If this is the species, it is going to make offspring, so this will be of same species. Same species means that they are similar in appearance, in body designs, but they have some variations also. Okay, this is very important. That is why reproduction is important. See, if parent species is having one kind of body design, then the offspring, it will be having some different kind of little bit variable type of body design. Why? Because during the process of reproduction, and especially in case of sexual reproduction, variations are there. Okay, so maintaining stability in the ecosystem. Because of reproduction, what happens? That stability in ecosystem is maintained. Okay, because if one species is extinct, then the entire balance of ecosystem, it will be lost, as we have read in the chapter Our Environment, right? There we have learned that how the balance in the ecosystem is maintained. For example, if this is a if this is an individual A, and it is what? It is a plant. Okay, and now this plant, it is as it is a plant, it is food for many herbivores. It is food for many herbivores. Herbivores are what? They are the animals which feed on the plant. So if this plant is not reproducing and it is not producing more plants, then one day this plant is going to be lost. Okay, and if this plant is lost, then the herbivore which was dependent on this plant, it will also be lost. Why? Because there is no food availability to this herbivore. So what will happen? There is imbalance in the ecosystem, right? Transfer of variations. Transfer of variations will occur, and this transfer of variation will occur especially in the process of sexual reproduction, right? In sexual reproduction. In sexual reproduction, there is a process of cell division, that is meiosis, and during this cell division, the cells, they get variations, right? Now, see, how do we inherit characters from our parent? So we are learning about reproduction and what happens during reproduction. We see certain characters in the parents. Parents reproduce and they make offsprings, right? So those characters which are present in the parent, these characters are inherited in the offsprings, but during the inheritance of these characters, there are some little variations. Because of this, the offsprings and parents, they are not identical. They are similar, but they are never identical. See, the chromosomes in the nucleus of a cell, they contain information for inheritance of characters. So this inheritance of characters which occur from the parent to the offspring, the information for this inheritance is stored in the chromosomes which are present inside the nucleus of the cell. Right, and in this image you can see that this is a cell, and inside the cell you see a nucleus, and in the nucleus what you see? You see chromosomes, and chromosomes are in turn made up of what? They are made up of DNA. The compact form of DNA is chromosome. So all the information which is inherited from the parent to offspring, it is stored in this chromosome, or you can say in the DNA, right? Now, information for inheritance of characters from parents to offsprings in the form of DNA. So DNA is very important for creating the variations. DNA carries information for protein synthesis. Different proteins leads to different body designs. In this DNA, which kind of information is present? This DNA will make protein, right? This DNA is going to make protein. and these proteins, they are responsible for changing the appearance of the individual, or you can say they are responsible for changing the phenotype of an individual. We have learned about genotype and phenotype when we learned about Mendel's genetic. Okay, so what is genotype? Genotype are the genes. Genes are present where? They are present in the chromosomes, and chromosome is having DNA. So genes are the special regions of the DNA which code for a specific protein. You have to remember it like this, that we have genes which are present in the DNA, right? More compact form of DNA is chromosome. Okay, so you can say genes are present either on DNA or chromosome. Both things are same, right? So genes are present on the DNA, and these genes, they code for specific proteins. Okay. And these proteins, they will change, they will regulate the body design of an organism. Body design of an organism. Okay. So these proteins, they are directly playing a role in appearance of an organism. Now, what is written? DNA carries information for protein synthesis. For protein synthesis, all the information, we need protein, then only we can see that how body design is changing. So we will go to genes, and on genes we have all the information for producing the proteins or synthesizing the proteins, right? And different proteins leads to different body designs. There are many proteins, and many proteins, they are regulating body designs, and different proteins leads to different body design. And if the information is altered, if let's suppose that this information is present in the parent, and when the parent is producing the offspring, so the same DNA will be copied and it will be given to the daughter cells. Okay, so if the daughter cells receiving the DNA which the daughter cells they are receiving, if those DNA have been altered or changed by any means, then what will happen? Then the body design, it will be altered, it will be changed, right? So if the information is altered, defective proteins will be generated, and it will lead to the altered phenotypic characters. Okay, so now how can you understand this point very clearly? See, we all know about Mendel's genetic, right? Mendel's genetics. You have learned about different characters there. For example, let's take one character. Okay, the character I am taking is the height of pea plant. Height of pea plant. And we know the height, it can be tall or it can be dwarf. Right. This is the phenotype which we can observe from outside. Right. That in some cases the height of the stem, it is tall, and in some cases it is dwarf. But in genotype, we have to see that what is present, which type of information it is stored in the cell, in the nucleus, inside the nucleus, in the DNA, which information is there. So if we need tall phenotype, if the stem should be tall, then there in the DNA, capital T allele of the height gene would be there, should be there. And if we want dwarf character, then small t allele of the gene height of the plant should be there. Right. So see, this is what? Height of pea plant is what? Gene. Right. And this is what? This is the alleles of, this is what? Alleles of this gene. Okay. Now, let's suppose that we have a parent cell which is having this type of DNA having these genes. So, it is tall, right? Or you can say this one, then it is more clear for you. The genes which are present in the DNA of parent is this. Okay, this is parent. Now this parent is going to give the information to the offspring. So first it will produce the gamete, right? Let's suppose the DNA was copying and it produced 2 gametes. So these are the normal gametes. The gamete, it will fuse with another gamete, it will be tall. This gamete, if fused with this gamete, it will be tall, or if it fuses with another gamete, it will be short. But let's suppose something happened and this small gamete is changed to capital T. Okay, then you can see in normal condition what was happening. The phenotype we can observe with the normal condition. It was tall, and dwarf, right? But if it is changed now, if it is capital T, then what will happen? Now we will only get the tall type of phenotype. Okay. We can only get the tall type of phenotype. So we have to focus on this gene. We have to focus on this allele. The other allele is coming from the other gamete. Okay. So this is how the information, it can be changed because of the change in the DNA, and if the DNA is changed, then the phenotype will be regulated by protein. So the protein is also changed because DNA, they are making proteins. DNA, they have genes which are making proteins, and if the change in DNA occurs, then the genes will be changed, then the proteins will be changed, and then the body design, they will also be changed. Okay.
Where you learn best.